Good morning, everyone, from where you're watching from. My name is Ubebo Otani Excel. I'm the lead of Kingdom Intercessory Group, and this is a platform where we intercede for people, the saviors of our world, to arise, and we intercede for the nations and generations the Lord has sent us to. I'm here this morning. This is our first video. I'm here this day just to share a very deep revelation I had. I've had this consistently for like a month, since ending till now, and I'm just pulled by the Lord to share this, just in case there are people who are having the same experiences, so we can come together and then form an alliance and then pull through with this that the Lord is impressing in our hearts here. And I just want to share a quick and a deep revelation I've had recently for like a month now, and it has been coming consistently and repeatedly. So I saw armies. When I mean armies, I mean, let's use the word soldiers, because they were in uniforms. They were in different kinds of uniforms, but it was like the armed force, and they were all chained. It was so bad that they were all severely chained, hands and foot, that they couldn't move or do anything, right? They couldn't. It was that they were in a space. It felt like a valley, it felt like a pit. I think that's the right word for it. It felt like they were in a kind of a pit, and they were chained hands and foot. And these people were in uniforms. Some of them were in uniforms but had crowns on their heads. Some were in uniforms but, they had ammunitions. Like they were guns, they were everything they needed, but they were chained. I began to ask the Lord, what is this? I would see it, but I would wake up like with tears in my eyes. I first of all, I felt like, maybe it was, I had to start praying and asking God, what does this really mean? What are you trying to say? And then at the other side of the valley was a green pasture. There were a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a lot of plants that needed to be harvested, right? So these armies in uniforms had ammunition, and then they had like sickles and all of that you use for harvesting. So they were armed for war, they were armed for harvest, but they were in chains. So the Lord began to say to me, speak to these people. Begin to speak my word to them, just as I formed the earth from nothing. So I began speaking over the people. I began praying over them and just speaking the word. So the valley turned in, it became like the upper room experience, and fire came. The fire didn't just come to break the chains. It began with purification. So it will go to a particular person and begins to evaporate. So you could see evaporations of things that are holding them down. Some were addictions, some were lying, some were cheating, some were false witness. So the chains, I felt like the chains were going to be something serious. Those things are serious, but they were like the things we do every day that we might not have seen as sins. Some were sexual sins, it was sins of all kinds. So it came to me that they are in that chain, in that particular chain that has held them down for a long time, because of, it was like they gave the enemy the foothold, and the enemy began slipping into their life gradually, foothold, maybe lied today, foothold, maybe did something and God has forgiven me, foothold. It was things that we could not even take seriously. It was things that if normally you would have just said, because of that. But that was it. It was because of that these people were in change. So you see lies evaporating. You even see rejections evaporating. So things began to evaporate as the fire came and things that could hold people down. Those people stood up, fought a war in that valley, climbed over to the field, harvested, and began transporting to the people who have been waiting at the gate and couldn't enter the gate of harvest. Maybe because they were not laborers or were not sent to, but they were waiting for the harvest, to run with the harvest. Hey, so I am here to say to you today that if you have ever felt any call of God over your life, every call of intercession, every kind of call, this is a season to begin to intercede, that people will begin to arise, that our kings, our laborers, our intercessors, whoever God has called for us this season, be it in the marketplace, our construction companies, anything the Lord has said to you, our businesses, that they will begin to arise. Our businessmen will begin to arise. Whatsoever God has called them into, people will begin to arise and take their position. So I'm calling you today to join us, to begin to intercede. I don't know wherever you are. You can do the intercession wherever you are. But this is God calling you for intercession. I'm just lending my voice to confirm what the Lord has been saying to you, that he has called you for such a time as this. And we can't play with it. Our saviors needs to arise. Our soldiers needs to arise. They need to arise. Say, arise and shine, for your light has come. That is the only time our nation and the world can see the glory of the Lord. Arise.